Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Can government ban you from growing vegetables in your own front yard? City officials in Miami Shores, Florida have done just that. According to these bureaucrats, vegetables are inconsistent with the city's aesthetic character. But food isn't ugly. This is Tom and Hermine Carroll. They grew vegetables in their yard for 17 years, until 2013. That's when their onions, peppers, and lettuces offended city officials. The city forced the Carrolls to rip out their plants or pay $50 a day in fines. If it were fruit, flowers, or flamingos, it would have been just fine. But not vegetables. That makes no sense. But it's the law. Click to help the Carrolls save their vegetable garden.
Court rules plastic flamingos okay but growing vegetables in front yard is illegal. Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeal just claimed that it is okay to fill your yard with plastic flamingos, but if you plant vegetables, it's illegal. By Matt Agarist, December 15, 2017. Miami, Florida. Last month, Florida's 3rd District Court of Appeal upheld Miami Shores' tyrannical and entirely unhealthy ban on front yard vegetable gardens. The Village of Miami Shores, according to the ruling, has every right to take legal action against residents who dare to grow food in their own yards because they are ugly. The ruling in this most recent court case states that Miami Shores homeowners may have virtually anything in their front yard. They may decorate with garden gnomes, pink flamingos, and trolls. They may park their boats and jet skis. And they are free to grow whatever trees, flowers, shrubs, grasses, fruits, and berries they desire. There is, however, one thing forbidden: vegetables. The court's decision was based on a now 4-year-long legal battle of Tom Carroll and Hermine Ricketts. All homeowners will be fined $50 a day, not for robbing banks, or trafficking humans, or running some other criminal enterprise, but for growing their own food. For 17 years, the couple grew their own food in their front yard until one day, the state came knocking. That's what government does, interferes in people's lives, Ricketts said. We had that garden for 17 years. We ate fresh meals every day from that garden. Since the village stepped its big foot in it, they have ruined our garden and my health. Advertisement. No one was harmed by the couple's garden. It was entirely organic, and in nearly 2 decades, not one of their neighbors ever complained. The only injured party in this ridiculous act was the state. Read more. Watch: cops steal man's phone, accidentally record themselves conspiring to falsely charge him. According to the tyrannical legislation, all homeowners are subject to the same absurd constraints. Their yards must be covered in grass. That is the law. There certainly is not a fundamental right to grow vegetables in your front yard, Richard Sarafan, attorney for Miami Shores, said at the start of the case. Aesthetics and uniformity are legitimate government purposes. Not every property can lawfully be used for every purpose. The hubris that it takes to claim that no one has a right to grow vegetables in their front yard is mind-blowing. Carroll and Ricketts' yard is not publicly owned and is not subject to the government's uniformity code, especially when all they are doing is growing food. This decision gives local governments tremendous leeway to regulate harmless activities in the name of aesthetics, said Institute lawyer Ari Bargill, according to the Miami Herald. It gives government the power to prohibit homeowners from growing plants in their front yards simply because they intend to eat them. This case is different than many of the other gardening cases that arise across the country, as the majority of front yard gardens are opposed by homeowner associations, not the government. When an HOA tells someone they cannot grow a garden, it's because that person voluntarily agreed to the rules. Unlike members of HOAS, however, Carroll and Ricketts never agreed to these arbitrary constraints on their private property, which happened to be imposed on them nearly 2 decades after they'd been growing their own food. Read more. Video: 40 cops with riot gear, armored vehicle, and LRAD swarm 5 praying Native Americans at DAPL. While Ricketts and Carroll are upset over the ruling, they do not plan on backing down anytime soon, and they are now taking the case to the Florida Supreme Court. It's all about conformity. Miami Shores wants to be a mini Coral Gables, Ricketts said of another tidy, upscale South Florida city known for strict zoning regulations that at one time included a ban on pickup trucks in driveways at night, according to the Miami Herald. What is the definition of edible? I can go into any front yard and find something edible because every plant has an edible part. Miami Shores claims to promote green living. What could be more green than walking out your front door and picking what you've grown rather than driving to the store and buying what has been trucked in quantities that contribute to food waste? The court tried to tell the couple that if they don't like the ordinance, they can simply petition the government to change it. However, that is what this couple has been doing for years. Changing the system from within has had zero effect. The irony here is that had Carroll and Ricketts been growing their garden in the backyard, spraying gallons of glyphosate and permethrin into the air, the city would have been entirely fine with it. Only when this innocent couple dares to grow food in their front yard, violating the aesthetics and uniformity of their control-freak government, do they ever hear a word. If Hermine and Tom wanted to grow fruit or flowers or display pink flamingos, Miami Shores would have been completely fine with it, said their lawyer, Ari Bargill with the Institute of Justice. They should be equally free to grow food for their own consumption, which they did for 17 years before the village forced them to uproot the very source of their sustenance. Read more. Did that cop just admit that his job is to subjectively harass citizens? In modern-day America, growing your own food has now become a revolutionary act.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.